Hi, my name is Ana Pilar, and this is a brief lecture about the Gunas. So Gunas, what are Gunas? The Gunas are technically attributes or qualities that we can find in the world around us, right? And there are 3 inherent qualities that predominate the universe, okay? And we've listed them out as the first one as tamas. Tamas is that quality of resistance, of heaviness, entropy in a way, this idea of stagnation, even density and darkness, inertia. I think sometimes gravity as well. So think of like how gravity pulls things in, right? It's that kind of coalescing, entropic, inert stagnation. It's technically that which veils, is what tamas is. The other quality that we find in the universe is called rajas. Now, rajas is motion, it's activity, it's agitation, turbulence, even increasing vitality of change, so kinetic energy, right? All of that is rajas. It can't stop moving. Whereas tamas is stilling itself, rajas is fractalizing. Then we get the third quality, which is called sattva. And this technically is optimization, equilibrium. Think homeostasis. It's clarity and stability, right? It's that which reveals. The word sat we think of as truth, but in Sanskrit, technically it can be truth, but it also means real. So it's real. So the truth is real. And tva means ness. So it's truthness or realness. So it's that idea of being in your perfect state of harmony, which is sattva. So we find that these 3 qualities exist in the universe, in our experience of this world. So as tamas is slowing things down and deteriorating, we've got rajas is still activating and advancing. And sattva is the place where these qualities and energies are just held in the greatest degree of continual sustainability and focused boundary. Sattvic states can hold their boundary, right? So they're able to hold the boundary and move within that. So it's that seam between the fractalization, rajasic, exploding everywhere, and then the tamasic where it can't hold anything, it's deteriorating, right? So when we can optimize the sattvic experience of our being by minimizing the tamas and neutralizing the rajas. Okay, so we can never get rid of the tamas or the rajas. That's just an embodied experience, right? We are living beings, and our cells are creating new cells as we are also dying off the cells as well. That's aging, right? So what we have to do is find out how can we minimize that entropicness as well as neutralize that activation, right? Because either one is not good by itself. So how do we do this in yoga? Well, we practice asana to neutralize the rajas. And then we practice pranayama to reduce the tamas. So when we practice asana, you might find that especially in newer practitioners, that they fall asleep in shavasana. And that's because once the rajas has been neutralized, that space is now filled with tamas. That's that like lethargy and tropic, which is why we tend to fall asleep. But to reduce the tamas, or minimize the tamas, what we do is pranayama. So before we even get to shavasana, ideally, is we sit and we can find our breath. That pranayama, that breath work, will minimize that tamas, and when it does that, then the space that is left is filled with sattva. And how do we maintain that sattva? How do we try to keep that sattvic state? Is through meditation. So there's a couple of other things about these gunas that I find interesting. And one is the law of interchangeability. So the gunas are influenced by each other through action, thought, and food. So they will toggle tamas and rajas and sattva, right? And then there's the principality or the principle of continuality or continuity. And this is that whatever guna is predominant, it wants to stay that way, right? And you're going to be attracted to what keeps you in that state. So for example, you know, I always think of it's like, you know, when you're in that sort of tamasic lethargic state, you don't really want to go out and go for a run or a jog. You want to just stay on the couch and keep watching TV and binge Netflix. That's how it does that. But the same way it happens when you're in that rajasic state, is like you can't stop moving, right? To sit still seems like you just die, right? So we have to recognize that within ourselves and do what necessarily we don't want to do in order to balance that out. I hope that helps you understand a little bit about these qualities that that manifest themselves in this embodied form, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.